I'm back. Hey guys, sorry I've been away for so long, but I am back filming regularly, and last night the biggest Uno reverse card in the history of YouTube dropped thanks to Tati Westbrook's new video. So I'm going to be going over some points made in that video and some of the responses that I've seen on Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of thing. So let's get into it. Make sure that you are subscribed as well, because I am going to be posting more regularly hopefully. I am in the process of moving, so for like the next month videos might be a bit all over the place, but hopefully we'll get back into like a good routine. I have got about 3 pages of notes, so if I keep looking down, I'm not like being weird, I'm just like making sure I stick to my notes. As Tati started to read her statement, she did script this herself, and that is because she has legal teams involved now, so she has to be very careful what she says. Her and James basically sorted through their issue about 6 months ago. They shared their own receipts, their own messages, DMs, etc., and sort of like put together that they were both manipulated by Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson. She mentioned that they have been waiting for the right time to film this video, and I am a little bit confused what the right time was. Like, I don't know if she means that she was putting together her like legal argument or what. Like, I am a little bit confused by that. Why did she wait 6 months to come out with this video when she has been getting slated all over YouTube by Jeffree Star especially? James actually wanted to be in the video with Tati, but she said no, she had to do it by herself, and I have so much respect for her for doing that. So Tati made the first move, in a sense that she made the first public video. Doesn't matter what anyone was saying to her, like if Jeffree was spreading lies about James or Shane was whispering in her ear, Tati made the first video, and I think it's right that she is now coming out publicly by herself to defend herself, try and clear her name, and speak her truth basically. I do think this is a very, very convenient time to make a video, considering how much dirt is being pulled up on Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star, and they are both in very hot water at the moment. It does sort of feel like she's adding fuel to the fire by making this video, because she knows that a lot of people have turned, especially on Shane Dawson. He seems to be getting so much backlash, and Jeffree, surprise surprise, is remaining silent. He's not publicly defended Shane once. He released one statement explaining lipstick Nazi and essentially apologising. I didn't think it was a very good apology personally, but there we go. So this could be, I don't know, a really good career move for Tati, in a sense that she can rebuild her platform now, because the two people that essentially destroyed her career by pushing her to do the video are now in very hot water themselves. Tati also went in very hard on Jeffree for his tweets about James being a predator and a danger to society, and I genuinely don't remember her ever saying that about James. That was all Jeffree. She aired her concerns about his behaviour in her video, but she never went that far. She also went in very hard on Shane for manipulating her and basically pushing her to do the Bye Sisters video. Tati didn't hold back in this video at all. She was very, very blunt, and she was very open and honest about who the people were that manipulated her, even though the whole of the internet already knew. She basically confirmed it for everyone. Tati then moved on to talk about how she met James in 2017. They didn't really hang out, and he presented himself as a changed man, and that it seemed that he was improving himself from his past mistakes, his racist past and all the horrible, horrible things that he said and done. But she did say that she noticed that every time there seemed to be a positive change, it was like 2 steps back for him. One thing that really got me was that she described their friendship as like being friends with a lion, in that she knew that he was dangerous, but he was nice to her. And I feel so bad for Tati, because that is essentially a toxic friendship, and in my opinion I think she maybe felt like she had to stay on Jeffree's good side. Whether she was doing that because she wanted to make him a better person, or she could see some good in him and just wanted to uplift him and bring that out of him, but a little part of me does think that maybe she was genuinely a little bit scared to stop being friends with him in case he tried to destroy her career, and that ultimately did happen. Some of the things that Tati said have actually quite disturbed me. The fact that she moved from LA to Seattle, and then 2 months ago she moved again because she was scared for her life, for her safety. Although she didn't directly blame Jeffree Star, I am going to assume that's what she meant, that she was kind of scared of Jeffree's influence and his power. It's quite disturbing that YouTube has become this place, especially the beauty community. It's definitely not a large portion of the beauty community that is, toxic and filled with drama and they're problematic. There is such a huge proportion of the beauty community that are just unproblematic. They're teaching how to do makeup. But this problematic part of the beauty community is so overwhelmingly loud and you never stop hearing about them, and it gives the beauty community such a horrible reputation. And I think it is about time that we push these problematic people aside and give these unproblematic, interesting, creative, talented YouTubers the chance to grow their platform and rebuild the reputation of the beauty community, because people like Jeffree Star do not deserve their platform anymore. The fact that Tati, Cam Lester, Blair White have all said they are scared for their lives and for their safety, and they are all linked with Jeffree Star, is quite terrifying, because no one should have that amount of power to terrorise and traumatise people because he doesn't like them anymore. So Tati also made a public apology to Jackie Aina. I'm not 100% up to date with that drama. Anyone knows what happened in that situation, please leave it in the comments below. Another really shocking thing that Tati talked about was that Jeffree has dirt on a lot of people in the beauty community, like enough to essentially destroy a lot of people's careers. That includes makeup brands, influencers, like the fact that he thinks that it's acceptable to essentially blackmail people. Well, I am pretty sure that's a crime. So YouTube do just really need to remove Jeffree's account at the moment, because he's got a cult following, which just makes it worse, because I think he believes he's on this pedestal and he can't ever be like pushed off it, you know. He's invincible, and he's not at all. He's really not. Come on YouTube, do your thing. Take his account down, or at least stop monetization so he can't make money off of the shitty things that he does. They've done that with Shane. They have demonetized all 3 of his YouTube accounts. Tati then moved on to talk about how throughout 2019 up until Dramageddon actually hit, Jeffree used every opportunity to bash James, to chat shit about him basically, and this speaks volume, and for me, it really backs up things that Tati said about being manipulated by Jeffree and Shane, because I have, from the start, from when Dramageddon first hit last year, have thought that Jeffree instigated this in some way because he was so threatened by James Charles' success, because he was 19. He was growing so quickly, you know, he had an amazing collab with Morphe, just good things were coming his way. He was one of the most talked about influencers ever. He was no longer an influencer, he was becoming a huge celebrity, like a full mainstream media celebrity, and I do think that Jeffree was threatened by that. So rather than realise that his crown was slipping slightly, he was no longer the king of makeup, and he needs to make way for a younger person to bring more inspiration and creativity to the industry, he decided to drive 19-year-old to almost commit suicide, because that's an acceptable way to handle the fact that you're on a slight decline with growth, still growing, still very successful, but that someone else is catching up to you. And it makes me feel a little bit sick that that is what he resorted to. Until this point, I wasn't aware how heavily Shane Dawson was involved. I'm quite shocked that Shane has stooped this low, but that seems to be the norm when you are friends with Jeffree Star. Like, everything just implodes for you, and he should have seen this coming. If after all this drama you still support Jeffree Star, if you still buy his makeup, if you still watch his channel, if you still follow him on social media because you find him entertaining, then I'm very sorry, but in my opinion, you are trash. This toxic skeleton who is a known racist and just frankly disgusting person has made no effort to change. He's made no effort to improve himself. He's made no effort to take real accountability. Overwhelming amount of time that he spends bashing people, putting them down, trying to destroy their careers. He talks like shit to his fans because they disagree with him on a point. Thinks he can get away with this, and it is about time people hold him responsible for this, and he loses his following because he does not deserve it. He does not deserve to make a profit out of ruining people's lives anymore. Tati also mentioned that she shared some very personal and sensitive information with Shane Dawson the first time that she met him. If I've understood her video right, it was the first time that she'd actually met Shane, and frankly I am a little bit confused because she said that she'd only shared this information with her closest friends. You wouldn't share necessarily, or personally I wouldn't share, very intimate and probably quite traumatic information with someone you've just met. It doesn't matter if you've been speaking over social media for a long time. I personally would wait until I build a really good relationship with that person to then decide if I wanted to share that information, if I could trust them, you know. I personally believe that Shane Dawson ran straight to Jeffree and told him everything that Tati had said, and they used this against her, because someone that has been, they're going to have a much more emotional reaction to that information, because it's, for one, someone that she's mentored and has been like a mother to. So when someone comes to her and says that he's someone, of course Tati's gonna lash out, because she knows from first-hand experience how horrible it is, and she probably wanted to protect people, and unfortunately it's not happened. People haven't come forward. Talks of a voice memo keep circling the internet, and until that voice memo becomes heard publicly or the victim comes forward, I am not trusting it. Until that victim comes forward, I am just sort of neutral on the situation. And that is one thing about Tati's video that I really cannot back her on, I can't defend it, is that she basically tried to downplay this voice note that she heard. Even though she said she only heard a small portion and it wasn't enough to go to the authorities, she should not be defending James Charles now about it. She should not be bashing Jeffree and lifting James up, because if it comes out as true, she has defended someone who has assaulted people, and that is disgusting. So I think she needs to distance herself from both Jeffree, Shane and James, no matter what her personal feelings are, because ultimately if it comes out this voice note is true, then I think she has done more harm than good to her career by defending James. Tati talked about how Shane offered to help edit, create the thumbnail and title her Bi-Sisters video, and it shocks me because Mr. I'm Too Sensitive for Drama, Dawson, wanted to have such an influence on the Bi-Sisters video. And it does all make sense, the fact that some drama channels were aware that a video was coming before Tati even filmed it, and it really backs up the point that Tati made that Jeffree and Shane instigated this. I think it was more Jeffree than Shane. I think it was Jeffree's idea, and somehow I think Jeffree will not defend Shane publicly now. I do believe that it was a grand plan to take down both James and Tati. Another thing that Tati covered was the fact that Shane disregarded her concern that James might hurt himself after the video came out. The fact that he was staying in a hotel with 50 floors and he was at the very top, and Tati was concerned that he might jump or hurt himself in other ways, and Shane said that he was too narcissistic to do that. It disgusts me a little bit, because Shane suffers with mental health. He has been in so many scandals throughout his YouTube career. He knows how detrimental and damaging and destructive they are, so he of all people should know that it's not good for your mental health. And to disregard it and basically say that James is too narcissistic to hurt himself just is disgusting, and I don't think I'll ever support Shane Dawson again after this scandal, because he has shown his true colours and I don't like them at all. There's so many bits of this story that are finally starting to fit together. So when the docuseries came out in November, I believe, Shane said that he didn't include the drama because he didn't want to drag it back up. If I remember rightly, if I'm wrong, just let me know down below. But it turns out that he didn't include it as much, partly because Tati asked him not to, and literally the day after she posted that video, or the day that she uploaded that video, he was only bothered about filming the reaction and the fallout from that, rather than support his so-called friend. Towards the end of the video, Tati basically dragged everyone. She talked a bit more about how she had lawyers involved and receipts would be made public after it had been dealt with privately, which to me insinuates a court case, but we will find out. She also dragged Morphe and said that she had been told that Jeffree was a co-owner or had shares, basically was a much bigger part of Morphe than we expected. Personally, I don't believe this is true, because when James Charles filmed Instant Influencer, Morphe seemed to be so heavily involved in that video, and I personally think they may have sponsored the video or funded the video a little bit, as well as YouTube and as well as Anastasia Beverly Hills. There were a lot of Morphe products that were used by the instant influencers. So part of me thinks that's not true, because why would Jeffree, if he has a share or he co-owns part of Morphe, allow them to help create a really big series for his competitor and someone that he tried to destroy? I also think it would have been made public knowledge by now if he did own a part of it. I mean, we never know, that might come out to be true, but personally I don't think he does, or if he does, it's a very small percentage of Morphe. That means he doesn't actually get a say in the running of it or anything, he just cashes in every so often. I have a feeling Jeffree's already working on his response, and I don't think anyone in the beauty industry is safe. I think he's going to throw everyone under the bus to protect himself, and it's quite scary. I think the first person he's going to turn on is Shane as well. And considering that Shane has only ever publicly defended Jeffree, it's quite a pathetic thing to do. So if he does that, well, I already have no respect for the man, but it'll be irredeemable. He'll never ever be a good person in my eyes if he throws Shane under the bus rather than take responsibility and actually apologise for the things he's done. I mentioned earlier Shane has already responded. He did a live and I don't think it was a good idea at all. His live was a mess, and the fact that he couldn't string a full sentence together and he seems so angry, to me shows guilt. He knows that he's in the wrong and he's now trying to bash Tati in a way of trying and salvage his career, but the fact he couldn't even string a sentence together just, to me, confirms guilt. Ryland also responded to the drama. You know, he can respond to Tati Westbrook publicly calling Shane Dawson manipulative, but you know, he can't respond to the fact that Jaden Smith basically called Shane out on his bullshit apology for sexualizing Willow Smith as an underage 11-year-old. And the fact that Shane has also been silent on the fact that the mother and brother of the girl that he sexualized when she was 11 have come out and have said they don't accept his apology, and he's remained silent, is disgusting. That is more important to address than Tati basically calling you out for your shitty behaviour. I think both Ryland and Shane need to get some fucking perspective and get off Instagram before they just completely destroy their careers. I am a bit skeptical to see what's going to happen next. Like, who knows what's going to happen? Jeffree is definitely going to explode. He's been completely silent on social media at the moment, up until the point of filming this video. Trisha Paytas has been very vocal. She has filmed a video about Tati's video and I'm not even going to watch it. I'm not even going to entertain it because I've already made a video about Trisha. I have no respect for her. She's a clout chaser and this is not a situation she should get involved in, and actual crimes have been committed if this voice note is true and if Tati does proceed with legal action. So Trisha just needs to sit the fuck down, stop making tweets about how she made the video coming out as transgender because the first YouTuber she met was Gigi Gorgeous. Just shut up. You look like a clown. Finally, at the end, if you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and comment down below what your opinion is on the drama. Also, let me know down below any other topics you want me to cover. Let me know if you want me to cover anything else. I was thinking about making a Gabby Hanna video, but I'm not sure now. Is that too old drama? I don't know. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon because I'm going to be posting more content in the future, and I will hopefully see you in my next one. Bye!